Number 6. Or I am the new number 2. Or you're number 6. Who is number 1? You are number 6.
You walk up just a touch. Perfect. Stay right there. And look at me.
Yes.
Yes. Alright, so... good. So what makes smaller, intimate shows more challenging?
I mean, they're intimate. Like you just said with that description. They're intimate. It's fun. It's nice to be able to feel like you're a part of it rather than just being the audience. If you think of a show with a barrier, that's a barrier. But if you think of a smaller, intimate show, you can reach out and feel like you can, touch the band members. I actually fist bumped Mantis from Venom Inc. at the Bug Jar. I mean, Venom. I grew up listening to them. To be able to feel like you're a part of that, it's a better connection with them. It gives the idea that this, yeah, these guys are here, they're touring, they're from wherever the fuck they're from, whether it be England, Canada, Mexico, or wherever. This could be you. I mean, this is something you can do. It in a sense, I feel like it does break down some level of boundaries or break down a barrier. You feel like you're a part of something rather than just like, oh, I'm a paying audience. I'm like, here's my money, here's a barrier, there's the band, the stars, the act we're here to see. No, it feels intimate. It feels you feel a connection to that. It feels real, I guess. It feels genuine. You know that these, I hate to say it, but you know that these are real people. It's not, these are big rock stars. It's not the AAA arena selling acts that need a barrier. They're real people. They're people you could go off the stage with and have a beer with.
Okay.
Not that I would have beer because I don't like beer that much.
Okay, so would you say that this genre of music has always been pretty prominent?
As far as I've been going out, yeah. I started coming out in 2005, so it's barely been 20 years for me. But yeah, I would definitely say so. I remember seeing flyers for like Behemoth and King Diamond in the early 2000s. I know, I've heard so many stories from people who went to the Trouble King Diamond gig at the Penny Arcade or the Creator Voivod show back in the 80s. Yeah, it's always been prominent. We had tons of death metal bands throughout the 90s, pretty early on, too. We had some black metal. I think it's prominent. It's always been a thing. Yeah, the scene works in waves. I've definitely seen upswings and downswings. Sometimes you have a bunch of bands just fucking break up and it sucks. But then you'll see a bunch of new stuff form. Some stuff gets places. And honestly, a lot of bands that stick it out do well. It's a constant thing. Just not always as big as it has been or could be. It comes in waves. Yes.
Alright, so okay. Okay, who helped pave the way in getting Rochester recognized on a larger scale for like extreme music?
So if we want to talk about bands, Buried Beneath, Night Conquerors Day, Withered Earth, stuff like that in the 90s was really significant. You had death metal, you had black metal, but at the same time you have a band like Orodruin who have played in Europe several times, paving the way for at least the doom scene and making notoriety outside of here. Prior to that, Wendy Plasmatics, I mean, she's really notable. I hate to say it, but Lou Gramm and Foreigner, that, was a big thing too. That definitely influenced a lot of kids. Yeah, it's not heavy. Yeah, it's mainstream, but it definitely had an effect. You look at Buffalo, you see Baphomet, you see Cannibal Corpse, you see Malevolent, Creation. They had an effect too, or close enough to that. I guess I would just say all the early 90s bands had some impact on showing the kids, hey, this is something, stick at it. In the 2000s, shit, that's a good question. I'm just going to harken back to Orodruin, and actually Sarkis. I would say Sarkis because they made some waves, albeit short-lived as it was. They only got a couple tours at the end. This is a weird one, but Crucifix, Nocturnal, Hellstorm, and all that, because, Danny lives here now. To have somebody of that significance who's done what he's done living in Rochester helped a lot, too. And it makes you feel some real connection to that. Then just a lot of people who promote shows, a lot of people who do stuff, I guess. Sorry, I have a weird take on that because I don't actively play out right now, and I do more of the business side of things.
You've been killing it, dude. You've been giving me some of the best answers so far.
It's a different perspective.
And I don't say that
No, I mean...
I don't say that towards you. I'm talking about in general with my documentary stuff, like with other people.
Well, the problem with
Some
it is
people
like
are
is that,
blank.
well, for me, it's I don't have the perspective of a band member. I'm not up there. I've played up there. I just don't care to do that. I care to be behind the scenes. It just works better for what I can do and feel comfortable with. And like it or not, that's going to be a filter from my perspective to say, you know, I'm looking at it as a promoter. I'm looking at it as a guy who's seen people come and go and who's seen bands. Feel free to leave all this in too, because I like that approach.
Okay, a couple more. Are they playing yet?
No. I think Sadok just got on.
So are they changing over?
Yeah.
I would assume they're changing. Yeah, I'll be quick with these.
No, don't.
I'm not holding you up. I'm not distracting you. Go do what you want to do.
No, you've been killing. Okay, so describe Rochester. Do you feel like Rochester is a beautiful place? Do you feel like bands feed off the energy? And Buffalo.
Rochester and Buffalo are not beautiful, but they're not terrible either. I've always been fascinated with the idea of beauty through ugliness. We are on the Rust Belt. That's the thing you can't deny. Buffalo, especially Rochester, we're dying cities. But we have a lot of appeal. What I tell out-of-town bands a lot is Rochester's wonderful for a weekend trip. There's so much fucking culture here. It's not beautiful in the sense of Paris or Italy or parts of South America that are traditionally viewed as beautiful. It's not beautiful in the sense of like the East Coast, like the coastline, like say Maine or Boston. It doesn't have that old world feel. It doesn't have the progressive aspects of somewhere like the West Coast or Silicon Valley, but we definitely have a beauty. It's just different. It's different. It's more of a downtrodden, old, decayed beauty. It's urban blight, but that in and of itself can be beautiful. No, it's not a bright and happy, sunshiny, pat on the back type of place, but that doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Some absolutely depressing things can in some way be beautiful. Rochester, I don't have enough experience with Buffalo to really say too much for that. Sorry, I've only been there a few times. I was pretty drunk both those times. But no, it's definitely beautiful from a different perspective. If you're looking for a tourist attraction with traditional tourism, not here. But if you're looking for something with legitimate, interesting history, interesting culture, Rochester's fucking wonderful for that. There's something here for everyone, and that in and of itself is beautiful. The fact that a bunch of kids can form a death metal band and currently be opening for Cannibal Corpse, or Black Dahlia Murder, or playing with In Flames as they just announced, that's fucking beautiful because they're a new band. The fact that the Casualties can be here 23 years ago is the first time they're back again and they're mingling with the crowd, that's beautiful. It's a different vibe, but it's no less beautiful.
Very good. All right, two more here.
Shoot.
Is there any specific venues, people, venues or people that come right to mind? You need to give me a couple.
Well,
What do you think represents Rochester?
well, that's a doozy question. The business part of me needs to back the venues I work with. I love the Bug Jar. I love the Bug Jar. I love Photo City. I love Rose and Crown. Sorry, still used to Monty's Crown. I'm going to plug those just because I work with them. They're wonderful to me. They always take care of me. They're just wonderful to deal with. And they're open to the alternative crowd, the extreme crowd, whether it be metal, punk, goth, garage, new wave, weird shit. I'll plug those because I like those. Significant people. Look, I'm just going to be upfront. I'm definitely significant here. I've done more than my fair share. James Von Sin has done a lot. He's definitely put a lot. John Gallo with Orodrune, Crucifix, Blizzaro, all his bands. He's brought some bands here. He's helped out, get other stuff here, like the Doom bands. I'm trying to think of who else is actively doing stuff right now, because it's definitely not as widespread as it was. You guys from Buffalo help out a lot. Significant contributions from band members even.
That's good.
That's a good question.
All right, so the last one is, how would you encourage somebody to come see what Rochester has to offer?
We're talking in town or out of town?
What do you mean by that?
Or like if you, are you talking like somebody from out of town seeing what Rochester as a whole, or somebody who just wouldn't come out normally?
Somebody that's never been to Rochester, they're like, you know what? Instead of going to New York City, I'm gonna go to fucking Rochester. Why?
It's not as crowded as New York City. I mean, that is one plus we have. We're smaller, we're not as crowded. You're not going to be, feel like you're lost in this ocean of people. Cultural stuff, I would just like highlight the cultural things we have on offer, because there's so much culture here, there's so much history here. And I really do think that can overshadow some of the other stuff, because there is a lot of obscure culture, obscure history, stuff people don't know about, but that is significant. You're filming this. This is video. All photos owe a debt to George Eastman in some way. I mean, look at that. Eastman was from here. That's significant to the film industry. Kodak helped that along. Xerox, I actually found out from a couple friends in Pittsburgh, Xerox created the first graphical interface in computers. They may have abandoned it, but they did create it. Strong Museum is just significant. We got the Video Game Hall of Fame, which is in the news regularly, you know, when they have their new inductees. We gave the world the garbage plate. And I mean, if you don't know what it is, it's worth checking out. That usually elicits at least an eyebrow raise from people. I mean, you guys in Buffalo got the wings, we got the garbage plate, so there's definitely something for everybody. You can talk up culture. To me, that's what it would be, but I'm filtering that through a soon-to-be 35-year-old who's obsessed with anthropology. So, but culture draws. Culture draws sometimes more than art.